Jill, thank you so much for joining us to get right into it right off the bat. Tell us about the FIFA Club World Cup and why does it really stand out as one of the biggest global events?
Well, I think first and foremost, it is the first iteration of this tournament. It's a brand new tournament. It's never been held before, and obviously we're very familiar with World Cups where we bring countries together and they compete to see who's best in the world. And this allows us to now bring the best clubs in the world to compete in a 32-team tournament this summer in the US, and it will give bragging rights to clubs. I mean, there's always tension between leagues around the world. We have the best players, best teams, and now we actually get to see it play out, and we get to watch this amazing tournament with some of the best players in the world. I mean, I think one of the unique things that I was actually reading was that, you know, in the World Cup, you've obviously got 32 and 48 countries represented. There's going to be over 80 plus countries represented at this tournament. So whether you're a fan of a club or a fan of a player, there's going to be something for everybody, I think.
You know, that's actually one of the questions I had because a lot of people are obviously very familiar with the World Cup, but the Club World Cup is very distinctive. Is it in a way just a preview or perhaps a taste of what's to come when we do have the World Cup in 26?
Well, it's certainly in terms of scope and size and excitement and energy and the quality of play, there'll be a lot of similarities for sure, because again, you're bringing some of the best players in the world to come play on this stage. But, you know, it is different because you've suddenly got club teams that maybe have 10 to 12 different nationalities on the club team. So it's very different in terms of its sense and format. And obviously, you know, Seattle is probably one of the best venues, not just from the history of Seattle and what it has in soccer, but in terms of the amount of teams that are coming in there. I mean, you truly have, you know, teams from Japan, from all over the world, literally coming into your backyard. And I think it's going to make it really, really exciting. But listen, at the end of the day, it's going to be a highly competitive. This is not a friendly. You know, I was explaining to some friends of mine. It's kind of almost that March Madness feel. You know, you can't ease into this tournament. You've got to come out of the gate. You've got to get out of your group, and then it's a one and done format, which is very intriguing and obviously exciting.
Certainly. And Jill, you mentioned Seattle. Of course, we are very proud to be amongst one of the North American cities to be hosting not only for the Club World Cup, but for the actual World Cup. Why do you think the Emerald City was chosen in the mix?
Listen, I from the days of coaching at UCLA to coaching the U.S. Women's National, I mean, Seattle has such an amazing history. I mean, the Sounders, I've been at their games, amazing fans. There's just such a tradition there. You know, you've got such a great history of developing players. I mean, Casey Keller, and there's so much history there. And success there, you know, in terms of the Sounders and what they've done. And obviously the Seattle Reign on the women's side, that it made perfect sense for it to be a landing spot for both this club tournament this year, this Club World Cup, and then obviously the World Cup next year. Because one, we know that there's a baked-in fan base that people, you know, and I say this in a very warm way, crazy about their soccer in Seattle. So I think it's a perfect host venue. And, you know, and again, I know there'll be a lot of fans from around the world traveling in, and Seattle in and of itself as a city is such a great destination, such a cool city to visit.
Absolutely, we wholeheartedly agree. And Jill, you know, when we think about soccer, football here in the United States, certainly it's not perhaps arguably as popular as some of the other major sports, like let's say baseball and whatnot. What sort of impact do you think that these tournaments, which come every few years, have in terms of soccer in the United States?
Well, I think, you know, and I would say this now is like soccer is, yes, we can say it's still growing and we want it to still grow, but it's very much here. I mean, you know, I look at the number of fans that come to the Sounders games. But, you know, I was around in 94 when we hosted the Men's World Cup, and we saw this massive boost. And then from out of that, we get a men's professional league in the MLS. We had the 99 Women's World Cup, which again raised the profile of soccer and put women's football, you know, in terms of on the map. So, I think this will be another opportunity for us to, you know, again, the coach in me says, if it's the little boy or girl that goes, watches a game and then goes out and picks up a soccer ball and starts dribbling it around their backyard, that's part of the inspiration of hosting such a major event. So you want to you want to continue to grow, whether it's the players brand, whether it's the club, the Sounders are now going to be seen around the world because people around the world are going to watch this tournament, or whether it's the sport itself and growing that and the investment and the growth in that. I think hosting a major world event like the FIFA Club World Cup will absolutely shine a light on this sport.